Okay, I'm James Burk,
I'm Kacey Ford.
and we participated in the RET Shift Summer Program of 2015. Our research was burning algae biomass and comparing the emissions with just pine pellets.
Our lesson plan, we tried to scale down our research. It had 6 components, an introductory component that was developed by Shannon Smith, where students will develop a burning stove. 4 components that students will learn some different strategies and research components, and then finally an inquiry-based assessment.
Okay, our assessment we'll start off with that. That was the inquiry engineering part of our lesson, and we wanted students to develop pellets and use the procedures that we're going to show you to collect data on those pellets and be able to come up with what they thought was the best pellet design, or possibly give them pellets to test depending on how much class time we wanted to use. So this was our pellet making procedure. There is a write-up for that in the lesson plan.
All right, concept A goes over a couple of ways to capture CO2 as it's produced. It has 2 systems. One system where carbon dioxide is produced from the use of Alka-Seltzer tablets, and then a second system where the carbon dioxide is bubbled into. The second system has lime water and bromothymol blue. As carbon dioxide is added, you can see the color change from blue to yellow, and the bromothymol blue. And then as carbon dioxide is added to the lime water, it precipitates out and changes the pH. So students will also have a pH meter in there, and they can graph the total carbon dioxide added with the pH of the system and create a titration curve.
And the idea was to use this with our pellet burns later to actually quantify how much carbon dioxide we were producing, but we haven't gotten that far yet.
Concept B takes aquatic life, algae or aquatic plants, adds it to the bromothymol blue that we have added carbon dioxide to change it back to blue, so kids can see that complete cycle of carbon dioxide being added and then taken away through respiration and photosynthesis.
This is the titration curve that we produced with the methods that are in the lesson plan. We combined 2 titration curves and tried to come up with a graph. If you can't do this, you might be able to use it to quantify, or this might be some sample data for you to see what your students should come up with. This was what we had proposed to collect our exhaust and bubble it through the same system to find out how much carbon dioxide we were producing with our different types of pellets that we'd produced. We'll have to work more on that. In the research, our team was mainly concerned with the highest temperature that was produced during a burn, and we looked at some of these graphs, and the algae never burnt as hot as the pine did, but it did burn for a much longer time. So we wanted to change it up a little bit and look at how much actual energy was being released. And so we decided to use calorimetry. We set our stoves, we built these little stoves and set it up to heat a soda can with 100 milliliters of water, and then we compared how hot the change in temperature of the water as we heated it. This was 2 5-gram samples. You can see the pine, the red, heated much more quickly than the algae did, but it was much more comparable than just the highest temperatures. So we took 5 samples of these and graphed them, and came up with a graph that looked like this, which is what the students will try to produce at least one line basically for their pellets, using different samples to find out how much energy is being released as they burn the pellets.
Okay, the last component of our student activities before they get to their assessment is to look at particulates. Not only does combustion give off carbon dioxide, but it also gives off small particulates up in the air. And so this activity looks at capturing and analyzing those. What you see on the screen are some sample um, tests that we did. We used a shop vac and then once again our pellet stove to collect these. And then we grayscaled them in order to give kids an idea of what they could compare it to. We used Microsoft Word to put it in grayscale. This is just another way to kind of really look at the whole process.
That wraps up our lesson.